Alright, here she is. Don't mind the missing bumper. And don't mind the mud. Alright, we got lots of screws to take out here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This little guy over here, 6, 7, 8. And that should get our glove compartment off. Alright, we got 2 hiding in the back. Then the whole thing will just gently come out, and you want to be careful because this wire right here might be kind of tight, or affixed to something. There's a little snap right there. I think I removed that on a prior expedition into here. So we're just going to disconnect this and then remove the whole glove compartment. Alright, now this whole piece right here is one assembly that costs you like 300 bucks. So we're going to take this apart and see if we can't just extract that motor out of there and use the new one. Hopefully it's the same size and everything, and we won't have to do too much modification. Okay, next thing's next. There's 2 10mm screws, 2 10mm bolts. One looks like this, and the other looks like this. This one is attached way back here on the firewall, right there. And this one is right there. And after you get those 2 off, you can finagle this whole thing out. One thing is that you want to remove this plug first. It attaches into the bottom of right there. And then you just kind of wiggle this whole thing out. Replace your filter, because this is nasty. Okay. So this is the piece that costs 300 bucks right here. And we're just going to undo this screw and pull that motor out, and hopefully it's the same diameter and everything as the new one that we bought. Okay. This is the real meat of the project right here. Unscrew this screw. Set that right there. And this thing. Alright, and now this part just pulls right out of here. You can see, I don't know, lots of black schmoo in there. Motor probably burned it up. Burned it up pretty good. Yeah, we can take a look at that a little bit later. Maybe see what the failure mode was here. Lots of black in there. Huh. They look pretty close. Let's see if this one fits down in there. Nope. He's too big, man. I cut myself. Something inside there is very sharp. Took a chunk right off the finger. You can see how kind of a deep little skin chunk came off there. Alright, so now the question that I have is, this has its own kind of plastic housing on it, so perhaps we can remove that plastic housing off of this piece and then stuff that down in there. So let's try that. Now this is actually metal right here. The problem is that it comes as this whole big unit, and this piece costs like $350, and the blower motor is integral to it. So what we've done is we've liberated the blower motor from this little recess here, and we're going to cut us a bigger hole so that we can place this mounting plate on it. It'd be kind of like that there, so that the motor will be able to fit through. And we're also going to have to solder on some wires so that we can bring that through and get it connected up. Got us a tungsten carbide cutting bit here, and it looks like it'll be controlled enough to be able to use. So we're going to start with that one. I got one that looks a little bit more aggressive. Okay, so there will be a lot of friction, and you will melt plastic all over your tungsten carbide bit. But that just pulls right off. And it looks like we got most of the way around it, but due to the melty nature, there's still stuff stuck on it. Looks like we're going to need the extra clearance, so we're going to go ahead and remove this bit right here. Yeah, I think so. So there we go. It looks like it fits for the most part. will work, but shrink wrap tubing, some wire, yeehaw!
Are you having fun?
Yeah. That's the noise I make when I burn myself. So this is probably one of those cases of bigger the gob, the better the job. And so that's what we're going to do. Want to make sure I've got good electrical contact in here. Bigger the gob. Shrink wrap tubing right here. This is what makes your work go from jerry-rig to professional. Oh yeah. Professional. Professional. Alright, so this is what we got now. The wire's trailing out of it. Looks super. Here we have our $300 assembly with a brand new $35 or $40 motor. We've just exemplified the fact that we have more time than money and cut a big old hole in the top of this, a big old hole in the bottom of this, and soldered wires to the motor. And now we've got to mount this base plate to the bottom of our assembly. And we have to do so such that this spins freely. Wherefore art thou a washer?
YouTube. Oh, you're filming? You can edit it out.
Okay guys, so I got excited and I jumped ahead a little bit here. I installed the motor on to the assembly. Put some weather strip tape in there. It's this stuff right here, got it at O'Reilly's for $9.99. Weather strip tape, self-adhesive, you peel it off so that there'd be an air seal because it's got these raised little ridges here. And then I installed the air pipe. Keep in mind this is necessary to take cooler air and ventilate the bottom of the motor so that the motor can cool off. If you don't have that, if you have a friend kick this off, then you're going to wind up with a burned out motor. So don't do that. Now I'm just going to go ahead and get this thing wired up to there. We're going to just double check the polarity when we do that, make sure air is going in the right direction, and that's going to be it. Of course, getting the assembly back in All we did was we put that bolt in and put that bolt in after some fiddle farting around, getting this thing past all the wires and all that stuff. And then we're gonna put our brand new air filter in, and we'll have nice cold air. Got me some shrink wrap tubing. We always like to put those on before we start doing our soldering, because then we'll forget about them. There we go. Just move it up the piece of work. And we're gonna do the same to the other. I know this one's gonna go here. And I got that one temporarily lashed off so that I know that in case I drop a wire or something like that, they just, I'll know that that one is for that. So let's go ahead and get this soldered. Alright, so there we have some really ugly solders. But they're strong. Go. Oh yeah, that feels good, and we saved ourselves $300. Thanks for watching. If you thought this video was helpful, leave a like, smash that subscribe button, and enjoy the rest of the Peace, Love, and Guns videos. Have a good one.